welcome back to another video. This one I'm going to be talking about as far as what is RNG and how does it affect the relics that we run in void fissure missions, because you know people still try to farm for Rhino mag or anything that's in the game as far as trying to get parts. But the thing about it is that RNG tends to get in the way and gives us stuff that we don't actually want, and we're trying to get said part or said parts. So I'm just gonna break it down in its, I won't say in its entirety, but explain it to you guys in the most basic of form so you can understand as to how RNG, drop chance, and all that stuff really works as far as with these relics here. Alright, pretty much as far as with this is self-explanatory, but as far as with the percentages though, it don't actually tell you the percentages right there. It says the percent right there, but you have to go off of based off like a guessing game, especially when it comes to uncommon and rares and all that kind of stuff. So I actually got my list right here, my info, because I've been doing a little sleuthing. Alright, intact, exceptional, flawless, radiant. Radiant, as far as if you're trying to go for a common, uncommon, and rares, radiant is 50%, but it's really 16. Flawless is 60%, but it's really 20. Exceptional is 70%, 23%. Intact is 76, and then the 25. Uncommon is 22, 26, 34, and 40. That's going in the orders of intact, exceptional, flawless, and radiant. Rares, if you're putting an intact in, is 2%. Exceptional is 4, flawless is 6, and radiant is 10. That's just off of one relic. So you have that chance. You're not combining other people's chances with your chance. You have your own RNG chance and drop percentage based off of that relic that you're running. You have your own chance. That's pretty much what it is. You have your own chance. Alright? Now, if you're running with a group of 4 players with the same relic as you, like everyone has radiance, everyone has the same, for example, Lith B1 radiant, right? The chance of you getting at least a rare, if everyone has radiance, is 34%. But it's like I said before, you have 34%, he has 34%, the other guy, and the other guy. But the chance of you getting at least a rare, that's just you getting a rare part, that's 34%. But everyone else, based on what I said earlier, at 50, the other guy is 50, the other guy is 50, the other guy is 50. But technically it's like 16. But that's just, if everyone runs 4, the chance of you getting at least a rare is 34%. Alright? Now, here's the kicker to all of this, though. The group of 4 players with radiant relics have 5% chance of receiving at least 2 or more rare items. So that means if you go in a squad, like I said again, Lith B1 Radiance, we have a 5% chance as a group, 5% chance of getting at least 2 rare parts from that single mission. Just 5%, which is still low. But based on RNG, it could swing the tide of it. And pretty much what RNG stands for, as far as with in Warframe, how we know it to be, is random number generator. The randomness. I take that part more out of the whole RNG name. Just random speaks for itself. The number is self-explanatory. I just read you the percentages as far as with the number. And the generator part, you pretty much have to take it as like you rolling a dice. Or not even rolling a dice. Think of it as like a pie chart. 34% takes up a huge chunk of that pie. So if you have like $1 and you spin it, that's still RNG based on the spin, and wherever it lands, it lands. But you taking up 34% of the pie, you increase your chances of that spinner landing on what you want. But it's still RNG. Alright? So I'm just going to a right here just to explain as to how this actually is. Now let me see. There are two number of captures. Alright. So here's what I'm going to do. Alright? Pretty much, since people like using radiance and whatnot, I'm going to run my radiant here as far as with Lith B1 and show you. Alright? Because now I'm going in. I'm not sure if all the guys that may join in temporarily or shortly will have the same relic as me. Okay, see how he has his Lith B1 there too? I have 50, he has 50, but at the same time I have 16%, he has 16%. Okay, he has an intact in there. That's 76% for him, but in actuality it's 25. He has the same relic, but his own is an intact. So he has 25%. Me and the other guy have 50%, but it's really 16. That's just going off of the comment. But since it's a radiant that we both ran, it's practically 10%. So we both have 10% on our relics, and that other guy came in too. Let me see. He has an S1. Okay, so he has his own individual random chance of getting whatever he wants to get. All right. But as far as with both of us having radiance, me and the other guy, we have 10%. But I want to say it's more of like a 5% for me, 5% for him. So I'm just going off of the basis on that. So based off of the numbers, I'm pretty much running off of the numbers based off of mine and the other guys' RNG. Now that dude is actually running. People are worrying about getting their reactants. I'm trying to get this guy. Alright, shot him. He's down. Don't have to worry about him anymore. He'll get captured. So for the time being, I'm going to go and get my reactants here. And once we collect all our stuff, go to extraction, and I'll just show you guys what I mean. Alright, so just going off of that basis alone, 10%. See, if all of us had the same refinement as all of us had radiance, Lith B1, then that chance will increase. So, wow, he just looking at him. I'm just gonna capture him because he just looking. All right, so I could complete that. Raining all kinds of hell. Could have sworn I picked this up. It was mostly like on the other side. They had this little part here. I don't know if this part was there, but if it was, I really never used it till just now. You could just use that and don't have to bother with the fans and shit. Okay, he's already dead. Everyone has their 10. No, he has. He has 5 left. That dude's already at extraction. I'm just staying back here so in case the guy needs to get all his stuff, because again he has 7. So that dude's going to extraction. That other dude is so far back there. He should get his 10. He only has 2 left. I'm just gonna backtrack here because again, I don't think he knows the map layout. I don't even think he knows where to go. But those other guys, they're like, fuck it. That dude, he has a B1. So pretty much just by them going to extraction, it's like they're gonna decrease that shit. Because that guy, he's still trying to navigate through the place. He should be able to get that one. I don't even... Okay, he got his 10. Alright, we could go now. Come on, guy. We could go now. So, just off of the basis off of that. Let me see. He got his 10, guy. Let's go. You were over there. I don't know why he actually got off. So... Okay, see, Rhino helmet, Boltor receiver. So and he got in a former. So you see, the RNG was higher for me because since Rhino helmet dropped, okay. So even though it wasn't a rare, it still dropped an uncommon for me, which based off of this, it was 17%. Even though I ran a radiant, it dropped an uncommon part for me. So just from that alone, running a radiant and an uncommon drop for me, so that's 40%, but it's really 20%, so it favored for me. The other guy had a Boltor receiver. Even though it's still an uncommon, Rhino helmet is on the lower end. So pretty much it's like harder to get, if you know what I mean. So just going off of the base off of that, practically understand what I mean as far as with RNG changing things. Now, I'm going to run that said mission again. Alright? Capture, B1, just going in there randomly. I'm not going into a squad where everyone has it. I'm just lucky that those two other guys had it. Okay, now see, he has a B1 as well. I have Radiant, he has Intact. He has K1, and he has an S5 Radiant. So since he has an S5 Radiant, he's going off of the same concept as me. Even though we have different relics, he still fall under the Radiant value. So he has 10%. I have 10% as well of the rare dropping. Not going off of the aspect of all four of us having the same thing, because as you see, it's not there. But the other guy has an Intact, same relic as me. So since he has an Intact, he has 76% of a common part dropping, 22% for uncommon. Rare is 2%, where for me is 10. But again, I'm just giving you the numbers, but RNG says otherwise, because I would rather play the randomness of this game when it comes to RNG more than anything else. I'd rather play the randomness versus the actual numbers that they say. As far as the chance of it dropping, the number is this. Because RNG, like I said, can be our greatest friend, but it could be also our worst enemy. So, just running off at that aspect alone, I'm running off of the randomness. Because that Mastery 2 guy that has a Lith B1, same as me, he could also get the drop of Mag Blueprint to drop. Even though my relic is higher than his as far as with the value. It really doesn't matter as far as with RNG, because it says otherwise. Like, okay, that doesn't matter. I could just have it drop on his relic because I am random like that. So that's just pretty much what that is. And these guys are still back here. That means more of these traces are gonna keep dropping. Alright, so let me just run along here. I got my 7. There should be more ahead. That's why I'm moving on ahead. There goes another one to drop there. All of it's right there, so that dude should get his as well, unless he walked right by it, which shouldn't be the case. Okay, he got his 10, so let's get the fuck out of here. Don't need to be here anymore. Alright, extractions right there. Everyone's behind. They're coming. Yep. I assume they're coming. Alright. So, let's see what happens here. This is the second run. Okay. He got a Spirit Blade to drop. See what I'm talking about? He ran it Intact. It dropped. Bore stock. See what happened there? I'm going for the blade because blades are more valuable. But just based off of that, my theory was right. Just from this game alone. He ran it Intact. Alright? He ran it Intact. I ran a Radiant. The Bore stock dropped on him. I got Boltor receiver. See what I mean? And that's the same Mastery 2 guy that had a Lith B1 intact while I ran a radiant. His chance of that dropping was 2%. Remember how I said intact that he ran? 2%. But RNG said otherwise. It says, yo, I could drop it for you here. Even though the number says 2%, my randomness says otherwise. Like, you know what? I'll roll that shit. You may get it. Alright? So that just pretty much self-explains what the hell I'm talking about. I ran this. I got in the bolt to receiver. The dude running intact, he got a board stock to drop. I could have gotten that, but as you see, I have 16 of those damn things, so I'm just going to let that go. That clarifies what the hell I'm saying. I just went for the Spirit Blade. It still works either way, because both of those are rare. But, quote-unquote, Spirit Prime Blade is more rare, but that's the here nor there. The point about it is that, pretty much based on what y'all saw from that last mission, clarifies what the hell I'm saying. Alright? I'm not just saying if I run the intact, it will be the same result, because again, RNG. Mostly R. Random. So, just running off of that basis right there explains what I was talking about as far as with Radiant, Intact, and whatnot. Even if it wasn't exceptional or flawless, it could be the same thing right there, or it could have dropped for me, but not for him, and vice versa. It's RNG. Right? So, there should be, I want to see if I can actually run with a squad that has the same, relic as me with the same refinement. Alright, that dude say he's hosting. I'm gonna see if I could jump into his game, because I have an R1, not R1, what am I talking about? A Meso M1. If he's full, you know, fine. Alright, he's not full. So let me join in with him. Right? RNG, man. Like I said, it could be your greatest friend or your worst enemy. And practically how I approach this, even if it didn't drop for me, the best thing that we can do, and the most reliable thing we can do, is keep cracking at it. Keep going at it. Because no matter if they deny us this time or maybe the next time, but at some point what you're trying to get is going to drop. You're playing the randomness of the rare part to drop. The number is what it is, and it is accurate half of the time, but the other half, or more than half, the randomness will be on your side. More so than not. Because as far as with the game that we're trying to run here, let's see, Meso M1, see, Mag Blueprint, right? We could get a Rhino Chassis to drop, or like I said before, we could run Radiance and an Ancriel's Gauntlet could drop, or Darker Handle. Never know. You don't know, because it's RNG, mostly random, being the R. So, I think that other dude left because I don't think he had a Meso M1. So, I'm just going to continue with this waiting process of seeing if someone will actually come in here and we could actually run the process of all of us having the same relic of the same refinement, which is Radiant. It will be 34% chance getting at least a rare. But as far as individuals, even though we're grouped up, it's 10% for me, 10% for him, and the other guy that should be coming with his relic as well. But as far as an uncommon dropping and stuff, that's 40%. The common is 50%. I'm talking about individual. But once the guy comes, or whoever it is, the team aspect of 4 people with the same relic and refinement, that whole dynamic changes once we go in the mission. So, just gonna play that waiting game. And also, another thing before he actually finds somebody and starts, another thing that people like to do is there'll be a squad. One person will run a radiant of their relic while everyone else runs whatever relic, and they will go off based off of that person's RNG chance, their percent and whatnot, to see if they could try and get the part to drop, because in the end you only could take one part anyway. A boar stock along with the other guys could have dropped, but we only could take one. That's why you can pretty much say the percent is what it is. It's like if it's 10%, it's really like a 5 because you only could take one in the end. So I'm gonna put my M1 in there as well. I hope that other guy has his too, so you could see what you know what it is. Okay, so we all have Meso M1s. We all have Radiant. So the chance of us getting at least a rare is 34%. All right, is 34%. Right, but then we have a 5% chance of getting at least 2 rare items. The chance is low, but RNG says otherwise. So let's just go through this mission and see what we get at the end of all this. I didn't find the damn target. I'm surprised they just didn't find it. Oh, they're much more ahead than me. I'm not paying attention to the goddamn map because, once again, I'm occupied by enemies. Alright, he's... Unless he probably shot him already. I'm just going to try to get up and speed up. Okay, he got him. Don't need to worry about him. Alright, let me just move along here. Alright, so now that he got him, all we gotta do is collect this and see what we get. Alright, that's my 4. Should be 5. This is gonna be 6. There should be a number out here somewhere. Okay. Alright, that's 8. There goes 9, and the other one's gonna make it 10. So, alright, I got my shit. He got his. He has 1. He has 3 more to get. Okay, Ember's killing everything, so I really don't need to bother anything with this. So, let's just keep on moving, I guess. There goes that thing if they want to bother with that. Trying to, yeah. Alright, he got his 10. We can bounce. Heh, there goes my hero with no head. Alright, and he got his head back. So let's see what's gonna happen here. As I told you, I showed you the numbers, and I told y'all the numbers. Okay, see? At least 1 rare. That's what we got. We got at least 1 rare. Boar barrels there, this is there. Not really gonna go for anything else except for this, because this has, I only have 13 of these, so I'm gonna take this. So this clarifies what I've been saying as far as with RNG. Everyone had their own individual number as far as with 10% for me, 10 for him, 10 for him. Rhino chassis dropped for me. That's uncommon. So I had the 40% in my favor. The other guy had a Boltor barrel and some and I think the other guy had like a common part. So just off of that alone, it's like, okay, you pretty much know where I'm going with this. So I understand as to how it works, but see, at times it doesn't roll like this, and that's why people have an issue as far as with how RNG is, how it works, and all that stuff. You see how we got 1 mag blueprint? That's going off of at least one rare. We have a 34% chance as a group. 34% chance of getting at least a rare, which was the mag blueprint. Alright. Now, as far as with if we had another mag blueprint dropping, that's rare. Because again, that's 5% chance of getting at least 2 mag blueprints dropping. We had 1 drop. That's more common to happen than if we see a mag blueprint to drop twice. Now, I don't know the numbers if we had gotten 3, but I believe I still have my screenshot where we all ran Axie runs, and bruh, it's a good thing I took the screenshot. We gotten 3 Rhino blueprints to drop. Now, based on the thing that I read, it said right here, group of 4 players with Radiant Relics have at least 5.3% chance to receive 2 or more rare items. Seeing 3 Rhino blueprints to drop in a fissure mission is not something you see. And I hope I have it. So close to the end of the video or somewhere along the lines of here, I will put it up so you can see what I mean. But as far as with the video, that's pretty much it. I hope you understand as far as how RNG is and how does it affect the relics, because a lot of people been hitting me up saying, yo, your luck with RNG is X, Y, and Z. I'm just playing the randomness of this game of trying to get a rare part. I'm using the randomness to my advantage, not the actual number and the percentage, even though the percentages is what it is. But the randomness, the RNG of it, changes that whole dynamic. So somewhere in this video, I'm going to put up the screenshot as to those Rhino blueprints, all 3 dropping. It's just one guy, I believe, that had a Ancrios blade dropping, which is an uncommon. So it could have been all 4 Rhino blueprints, but that's neither here nor there. So with that, I will catch you guys later. All right, peace.